Yeah, it was an okay season, but we all know what we're capable of, and we're capable of a little bit more.
And you said it there, it's just a mixed bag in that when it's all said and done, with the injuries, with the, apparent pressure on the manager and everything in between, we still finish second. Again, it's nothing to celebrate, but it tells you that there's something there. So I think every Arsenal fan is just hoping that, we maximize what we can internally, we get a bit of luck, and then finally, after a 20+ year wait, we celebrate significant kind of silverware. I did wanted to ask you, I know we're going to get onto transfers in a sec, but just briefly, like, how do you look at the striker in the left wing market? Because we're just fans at the end of the day. There's obviously good players, we'll get onto it, but we've been linked with Eze and Rodrigo and things of that ilk. But it doesn't look like there's too many like players of evident quality that are widespread available. So how do you feel about the attacking market, like left wing and up front?
Yeah, look, in terms of left wing, I think what we're looking for in terms of the profile is a player that will deliver more in product, more goals, more assists. Because look, I don't know, I think there's an Arsenal fan out there that doesn't like Martinelli. We all know he's a really good player. Same with Trossard. Trossard's a good finisher. He comes up with good moments.
Yeah, well, clutch player he is, to be fair.
Exactly. They both offer plenty. So it's not like we're desperate for an upgrade. But if we're looking for positions where we can upgrade, I think that is clear. We need more goals. We certainly, to ease the pressure on whichever striker we do sign, we need more goals to come from the flanks. Now, Saka will give you that, that. So goals and assists. But on the left side, it's been a bit patchy on that front. So, so goals and assists are big. Obviously, Barcola for me is a big player in that regard. You can't argue with his numbers, but it's in Ligue 1 for Paris Saint-Germain. So, they're the dominant force. Rodrigo, when he plays on the left, his numbers are pretty insane in terms of he scores a lot more goals, he makes a lot more assists, and he does on the right, where he has to sort of.
It's not his favourite position.
No, he has to do a lot more tracking back. He can't cut in on his favoured foot, etc. And then Eze is a really good example, of someone that I think is developing pretty quickly into someone that can deliver goals and assists. So I like all of those three. If we're writing off Nico Williams, I think we probably should.
Yeah, we have to give that up now.
Then I think the three that stand out of those three. The other ingredient is pace. Someone to really stretch the opposition.
That fullbacks are scared of.
Yeah, exactly. So then you're probably looking more like a Rodrigo and Barcola, I suppose. Eze will be a guy that just flits inside, won't he? So so that would be a different profile if we went for Eze. But I really love the player. I love him. I think that Eze is
Bobby Dazzler.
He comes out with moments of absolute magic, and even though he wouldn't hug the touchline, he would come in field and really offer a massive goal threat, I think. But the issue is there, where's the width coming from on the left-hand side?
Exactly.
Lars Lewis Skelly isn't that guy really to overlap. Calafiori loves doing it. He's a galloper, but I don't know of he's a centre-back really playing at left-back. We don't really have that overlapping left-back. So that's my only concern about going for Eze. Because I love him as a player, but would it unbalance the team? So, but that's for the manager to sort out.
You touched on it there, Adrian, and you made an interesting comment. It wouldn't be a transfer window if we weren't signing goalies and left backs. I think, I know it's crazy. I on one hand, I think we're kind of stocked at left back because I know people will say fitness, but Calafiori can play there, as you referred to. Tomiyasu can go over there. God forbid, but if push comes to shove, Timber can do us a job. Obviously, Miles Lewis Skelly has made that role his own. Probably with more Tierney going, do you think we would go for an inverted left back then? A traditional left back, just to give us something different?
Well, I would like us to, I would like us to, but it's clearly not the priority.
Exactly.
Let's get these the sub goalie, the defensive midfielder. I think we all know that's going to happen. Let's get the striker and the left winger done. But in terms of the left winger, the one that we go for might if it is Eze. If Rodrigo is out of our reach, if he doesn't want to leave Real Madrid, we have to accept that. Barcola, Barcola, it's Real Madrid, and I think he's probably waiting to see what Alonso thinks of him, and that's absolutely fair enough in my eyes. Barcola, he's playing for the European champions, he's playing for the best team in the world. I think the team that should really win the Club World Cup. Yes, he's probably not first choice, but again, he's probably on big money, and he's in an outstanding team. Is
And
he
they
in a
love
hurry?
him.
Is he in a hurry to leave? No, I don't think he is. So maybe when you look at it, then you're looking at Eberechi Eze and you're thinking, well, yeah, let's go and get him. And if that's the mindset of Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta, let's go and get Eberechi Eze, then I think you have to consider buying an adventurous left back. Now, we want Miles Lewis-Skelly in the team, don't we? So it's just, and Rice is a rampaging left-sider, but he's not going to provide that width. So that is an issue for me. He's not going to hug the touchline, Eze. You can't really just go down. You can't really just go down one side and offer a threat on that flank. So I do think that if Eze is the one to come in, then we need a rampage and left back that's going to get forward and offer that width. So it is interesting, unless of course we view Eze as an Ødegaard.
I was going to ask you this
competition for Ødegaard, because that would make sense to me. But he's the captain, and you would expect him to play most weeks. But he would certainly add stiff competition to Martin and play as that more of a number 10. So yeah, interesting times if we sign him, that's for sure.
Another thing that's going off in my group chat, and I'd love to ask you, is actually Rodrigo. You've been alluding to it now. Obviously, I know he's a good player. You do as well, and everybody listening. Do you really? Because a lot of my friends are saying like that could be our Alexis Sanchez kind of figure when he came from Barcelona, and I agree with it. I see the premise. You give him a bit of freedom, a bit of love, make him the main man, give him the freedom to drift inside, and obviously he's going to come for a big fee and big wages, so it would uplift everyone and be a quality player. But would it really be like that? Because I don't have him down like when Alexis Sanchez joined Arsenal from Barcelona to what Rodrigo could be technically now. I think Alexis Sanchez was of a different caliber. Am I wrong to say that? Or
I know where you're coming from. I do know where you're coming from, because he guarantees goals and assists. And at Real Madrid, he's not the star, is he? He's
exactly.
Mbappe and Vinicius and Bellingham are kind of ahead of him in that pecking order. But has he been unlucky? Shunted out of position, asked to do a different role. As I said, when his record when he plays on the left wing is markedly better in terms of goals and assists. I think he does elevate the team. I really do.
Evidently,
yeah. I think he takes it to the next level. Alexis level, I don't know. Hopefully, but there is a question mark. There is. And do you know what? Even if you went with Eze or Barcola, you could probably say the same thing. Are they definitely, elite world superstar players? Don't know really. Like they're very, very good players. But Alexis Sanchez was right up there, wasn't he? At the time that we signed him.
Different gravy.
He made a big difference. But look, this guy plays for Real Madrid. He's been operating at the top end of European football for many years. He's playing Champions League finals, impacted those big games. I rate him highly, and I think that he's the kind of guy that we need to bring in to scare opponents and take the strain off of Saka. Because that is a big thing. Opponents, we've seen it with our own eyes. We go to the games, they're double marking Saka for fun, treble marking him at times, knowing that really on the other side, yes, we've got good players, but not players that are maybe going to hurt you like Saka. If you've got a Rodrigo and a Saka flank, on either flank, then that's going to stretch that back line out, and it's going to create more space for other people as well. It's going to make it harder for Saka and our left winger to be double marked. So that's the key for me. That is the key. We need to offer as much threat on the left as we do on the right. And once that happens, I think we could have a transformational effect, and it could open up a bit more space down the middle of the pitch as well, maybe for an Ødegaard, or an Eze to go and really hurt teams.
I was going to ask you that, and you kind of alluded to it, especially, and that's another reason as to why I want the width and having two strong wingers or inside forwards, as you said, purely because you can't triple or you can't double or triple mark both of Saka and this potential left winger, and if you do, obviously your team's going to be in issues. Do you think, one, that we move the ball quick enough, and two, that we penetrate central areas enough?
No, definitely not. I mean, when we were at it, we definitely moved the ball quickly, but could we sharpen it up, yeah, and that's what Zubimendi is going to be brought in to do.
Quality player.
Because Rice isn't a high touch player, is he? He don't actually have that many touches. It's can the centre backs bizz the ball out to the winger quickly? Can they give it to Zubimendi? Can he go bosh out to Saka? You know, with a nice crisp pass early, or we go full back into Zubimendi, round the corner to Saka, and he's in, and he's away for 1v1. Because I do feel that we were a bit more ponderous last year with the ball, and it allowed teams to sort of regroup, and we didn't stretch them as easily. Look at PSG again. I'll go back to it.
That's the example.
It is the blueprint, isn't it? The way that they move it quick between the lines to get their wingers on the ball in 1v1s. They get them in those positions before the other team have had a chance to get set. So that is the key. And I think Zubimendi will hopefully have a really big effect. That in turn will probably help Ødegaard. Because Thomas Partey,